Here in Cleveland, Progressive Field for the 90th annual All-Star Game. We're going to get to a lot of baseball in a bit, but first we're going to talk some Lakers. They were holding out hope that they could sign Kawhi Leonard to create a big three, but they struck out when Kawhi chose the Clippers instead. So the Lakers filled out their roster with veterans, most notably Boogie Cousins and Kawhi's former teammate Danny Green. Lakers also brought back Green Rondo and JaVale McGee. Nick, what do you make of the Lakers' moves after missing out on Kawhi?
All right, I love the Danny Green move. The Danny Green move was necessary. He was one of the top targets before you ever even thought Kawhi was a possibility. There was real concern that Danny Green was going to end up going wherever Kawhi went. That obviously wasn't possible once he chose the Clippers, and the Clippers also traded for Paul George. He is exactly what they need. I also, you didn't mention it, but a kind of sneaky good move, I think, is Quinn Cook, the backup point guard for the Warriors. People saw him in the finals this year. Knockdown shooter, not a great defender, but would play great alongside LeBron if LeBron be the de facto point guard. The Boogie move I have a question about. The Rondo move I don't like at all. And Rondo last year was the only guy on the Lakers that when he was on the court with LeBron James, the Lakers were outscored. Any two-man combo, if LeBron was out there, they outscored their opponent, except for the one with Rondo. That one is curious to me. And Boogie, people can say, oh, he's so cheap, it's risk-free. But that's if you're playing 2K. That's if he's not playing well, you can just put him into the bench. You don't have to worry about it. Given the let's just call it unknowns on the coaching staff, and given all these personalities, the Boogie move has boom potential, but it also has bust potential. But I love the Danny Green signing. I like the Quinn Cook signing, and I think they made the most with what they could do, given the fact that the free agent market was so barren, having waited on Kawhi Leonard.
I just want to ask one quick follow-up on Boogie. You don't think Boogie proved himself in Golden State? He played when he was asked to play in January. Then he got hurt. He rehabbed and came back. He tried to be a good guy, except for, of course, the one game you and I went to where he got kicked out. But for the most part, he didn't prove that he could fit into any situation?
I think with Boogie Cousins, his reputation, it would take longer than one season. I think if Boogie Cousins doesn't get injured in that first round, yeah, he returned later on faster than people realize. But if he doesn't get hurt, I still believe that the Warriors, they three-peat. They're world champions. So for me, I like his skill level. Any of the players, absent of Danny Green, any of the players, because of where free agency was, all of them have warts. It's just a matter of where their warts are. There was no perfect fit for the Lakers. For me, the winner in this, besides signing Danny Green, it was Kyle Kuzma. Kuzma being the third scoring option for the Lakers and now potentially being a starter compared to coming off the bench. I believe this is going to breathe life into his career, and I believe, man, the ceiling is very, very high for him. The Lakers are going to need him, not only to be outstanding shooting the basketball, but he's going to have to be a better defender. So I'm looking at his overall development with the other signings because you can't be happy because there wasn't a whole bunch left.
And that's what we talked about all week, Nick. You said that the Lakers had waited so long. They put all their eggs, we don't need that anymore. They put all their eggs in the Kawhi basket that there may not have been a big enough pool left for them to fill out their roster. Do you feel like they did a good enough job with who was left in free agency?
Listen, I did my top 36 free agents. The number one was left. Number 1 was left Kawhi. Number 6, they didn't get him. Number 16 was Boogie. Number 20 was Danny Green. So those are the top 3 left. They got 2 of those guys. Here's my concern with Boogie, and then we should start to talk about that starting lineup you mentioned, is you're right, Boogie handled himself the right way last year. And then he had a devastating personal and professional setback. He suffered another injury. He's now playing for even less money than he played for last year. Now the odds of him ever getting that max contract, he was on his best behavior saying, I'm going to do right, I'm going to show I'm healthy, I'm going to win a title, and then I'm going to go get the money I missed out on. He's now a year removed from that. He's playing for essentially the minimum. He has suffered a second significant injury, and the idea of Boogie Cousins ever signing a 9-figure deal are now probably lost. How does that weigh on him? That's the first point. Second point, C, you mentioned Kuzma as a starter. I hope you're right. And we can show it. If I were running the Lakers, the starting lineup is very easy. Quinn Cook, Danny Green, Kuzma, LeBron, Anthony Davis. But given those signings, if they are going to start Boogie at the 5, start LeBron at the point guard. But I think on the right, that's going to be your starting lineup. That one concerns me. That one doesn't have enough shooting. That one doesn't play to the strengths. That one doesn't allow Kuzma to grow to the way you're saying. If they go with the one on the left, which no one's talking about them actually doing, I just think they should. And then Rondo and Boogie can play minutes together off the bench. They played together in New Orleans a couple years ago. Kuzma can be that third option. That would work really well for you. That's going to be a test on Frank Vogel and Jason Kidd and that coaching staff, because those are proud veteran players who... How would Rondo react to Quinn Cook starting over him? Which the reason he would do it is because he's such a good shooter. How would Boogie react to coming off the bench, which we mentioned had never done in his career until he got hurt in the playoffs when they brought him back in the NBA Finals? Those are real question marks to me, because if you start Boogie, I don't see how Kuzma's in the starting lineup.
Bro, those aren't the conversations you have after you sign them. Those are the conversations you have before you sign them. Rondo didn't sign a 1-year deal. Rondo signed a 2-year deal. So you think they told Rondo, you're getting ready to be the starter here for the next 2 years? You think they didn't have the numbers of the when he was on the court with when he was on the court with LeBron? Those are the conversations that should have been very, very clear as the Lakers go forward. There will always be problems as far as that roster. And to me, they had to go all in for Kawhi, but all in for Kawhi was not, you're not going to be able to get anyone else. Danny Green got a contract that if Kawhi signs, he doesn't get that contract. Right. Danny Green was waiting on Kawhi, but he was also waiting on his own opportunity.
And then I bring this up all the time. You still have a head coach that hasn't been with these guys yet. You have Jason Kidd right there as well. There's a lot of personalities. There's a lot of personalities on that team now for this coach and this coaching staff to have to deal with.
One other note: when we last talked last week, it looked like Andre Iguodala was going to get bought out and go sign with the Lakers. Memphis is now smartly considering holding on to him, seeing if they can get an asset back for him. Also, Kyle Korver potentially on the buyout market. The other domino of Kawhi picking the Los Angeles Clippers is when these veterans do get bought out, before or during the year, they are going to have 2 championship contending teams in the city of Los Angeles to choose from. So when you think the Lakers are going to be able to supplement their roster with guys that get bought out, the Clippers are going to be in that market too. Going to be able to offer the same building, the same weather, maybe the same chance at a championship. That's one of the other parts of Kawhi not only not picking the Lakers, but not going back to Toronto. Toronto wasn't going to be big in the buyout market for veterans that want nice weather, chance to win a ring. The Clippers absolutely will be, so that's something to consider as well.
Remember when the Knicks were like, well, at least we're not as bad as the Clippers? Yeah. Never mind.
Never happened.
Never happened. Take a break coming up. Should the Thunder trade Russell